Well, ladies and gentlemen, it would seem as if, as a consequence of these absolutely catastrophic fires going on in Southern California, many celebrities who have historically been either politically neutral or even outright registered Democrats have come out of the woodwork to publicly torch California's progressive leadership. And so I'll tell you what, when the Democrats have failed so miserably that even the Hollywood celebrities are coming out to roast them, that's how you know they've messed up big time. And so we have a couple of these celebrities to talk about today. So to kick things off, let's hear from famous fitness expert and TV personality, Jillian Michaels.
Jillian Michaels, you've been watching this.
Yeah.
And
Outraged. We're going to get prepared. What do you mean you're going to get prepared? You should have been prepared. We're not going to allow politics to come into this.
Nonsense.
This is all politics. You cut the budget of the fire department there by $17 million. Fire hydrants were broken, reservoirs were dry, new reservoirs that were supposed to have been commissioned in 2014 via Proposition 1, not one of those reservoirs has been completed. The forests are mismanaged, no control burns have been done. All of this should have been in place already. And I would love to give it to you. Like, let's say that you do have global warming. I'm not an expert on this, but I'm gonna run with it. Knowing that you have global warming and knowing that California is inherently a tinderbox and you have the Santa Ana winds and it is simply a climate that is ripe for these kinds of catastrophes. How are you so grossly underprepared?
You know what? I have to say, I think she raises a good point. I think this Jillian Michaels has a good head on her shoulders. If California's Democratic leadership expects us to believe that these wildfires are a consequence of global warming, which is something that they've been fear-mongering over for decades now, then why were they not better prepared? As Jillian Michaels says, if global warming is so ominous and we've all got to make personal sacrifices and prepare for it, then why did they not have water in the reservoirs? Why was no water coming out of the freaking fire hydrants? What's crazy is that these progressives expect you to make changes. You're not allowed to have a gas-powered car, or have a wood-burning stove inside of your house, or have gas-powered tools like a lawnmower. But when it comes time for them to do something, nothing happens. Because as we all know by now, most of these climate change agendas aren't actually about combating climate change, they're just about controlling people like you and me, dictating what people can do and what they can't do because the climate elite are just so much smarter than us regular people. But hey, I suppose that's really the first rule of progressivism. Rules for thee, but not for me. But anyway, then we hear from star of the show Everybody Loves Raymond, a woman named Patricia Heaton, and I'll tell you what, she is not happy. Check this out.
It's all going up in smoke, and preventable, by the way. I mean, we have a mayor who cut the budget of the fire department in California by over $17 million. Fire is the biggest hazard in Los Angeles. Why would you cut that budget? There was no water in the fire hydrants, in the Palisades. And by the way, she wasn't even in town during like fire season. A completely stupid trip to Ghana, completely unnecessary, on taxpayer funds. Maybe stop doing those trips and fund the fire department.
Yeah, I feel like having a well-funded fire department in a place that's prone to having wildfires is probably important.
This is what's infuriating. I don't hate California. I love California. We had 32 beautiful years there, and the people running the show just decimated the place. Drugs, homelessness with mentally ill people on the streets, crime. Our next door neighbors were burglarized there. Taxes. What are you paying all these taxes for? To see your neighborhood go up in smoke? It's so enraging that they took one of the most beautiful states, maybe the most beautiful state in the Union, and just continued to destroy it. Gavin Newsom standing there with his hands in his pockets. Oh, well.
And so she's just absolutely laying into California's Democratic leadership. Drugs, homelessness, crime, and now the fires on top of all of it. It really does seem like these fires are the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. With all of the other issues that California has been experiencing for the last 10 or 15 years, it seems like a lot of people have just kind of tried to ignore them. But these fires are just too big to ignore. They're so obviously a result of incompetent progressive leadership, and now the fires have sort of burned the veil, so to speak, that was preventing all of these Californians from realizing all of the other ways in which their state has been deteriorating. And so right now, it seems like a lot of these Californians are having this grand moment of clarity in which they've finally realized why all of these terrible things have been happening: progressive leadership. And now real quick, I do want to say, guys, if you enjoy the videos, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really does help a lot with combating the dreaded YouTube algorithm. But now we move on and we hear from 90210 star Sarah Foster, who had an absolutely scathing written statement directed towards Mayor of LA Karen Bass and California Governor Gavin Newsom. Take a look at this. As Miss Foster wrote on X, "We pay the highest taxes in California. Our fire hydrants are empty. Our vegetation was overgrown, brush not cleared. Our reservoirs were emptied by our governor because tribal leaders wanted to save fish. Our fire department budget was cut by our mayor, but thank God drug addicts are getting their drug kits. Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom need to resign. Your far-left policies have ruined our state, also our party." So notice she says our party. She's still a Democrat, but she's pissed off at these far-left radical progressives that have hijacked the Democratic Party. And you know what? They have. She's 100% right. If you compare the Democrats of 1995 to the Democrats of 2025, they've gone insane. Literally, the party is being run into the ground by people that are literally insane. And so, hey, like I said earlier, this issue with the fires is just too big to ignore, and it's too big for the Democrats to sweep under the rug. But of course, as we've all seen, the Californian progressives are doing every single thing they can do to avoid taking blame and to avoid taking any amount of responsibility. They're blaming global warming, they're blaming Donald Trump. I've even seen some of them trying to blame the constellations. Oh, well, it's Aquarius season, so there's nothing we could do about it. Give me a break. When in reality, if these Californian progressives want to know who to blame, all they need to do is look in a mirror, because it's their own failed progressive policies that have caused all of these issues. And so, hey, like I said earlier, when you have politically neutral or even registered Democrat Hollywood celebrities going live on air to publicly torch California's progressive leadership, that's when we all know they've messed up big time. But hey, I want to know what you guys have to say about all of this, so please go down below and drop a comment. Please like the video if you liked it. Please subscribe, like I said a moment ago. It really does help a lot. Thank you all very much for watching, and of course, as always, stay safe.